The Nautilus Deep Sea Research Station wasn't supposed to be making history that day. Dr. Sarah Chen had expected another routine shift monitoring deep-sea thermal vents in the Mariana Trench. The station, suspended in the crushing depths at 36,000 feet below sea level, represented humanity's determination to explore even the most hostile environments. The first indication that something was different came from the seismic sensors. They picked up an unusual pattern of vibrations, too regular to be natural and too persistent to be dismissed. Sarah's colleague, Dr. James Rodriguez, noticed it during his regular data review. "These readings don't make sense," he muttered, adjusting his glasses. "It's like something massive is sitting on the ocean floor, but it's not on any of our maps." Sarah moved to his station, her eyes narrowing as she studied the data. After 15 years of deep-sea research, she learned to trust her instincts. Those energy signatures, they're not geological. They're not biological either. The station's advanced mapping systems had already cataloged every significant feature within a 50-mile radius. Whatever was causing these readings was new, and it was big. Station Commander Maya Williams called an emergency meeting in the control room. The cramped space, filled with holographic displays and monitoring equipment, suddenly felt even smaller as the station's 12 crew members gathered around. "We're picking up unusual electromagnetic signatures from the object," Dr. Aisha Patel, their physicist, reported. "The energy pattern suggests some kind of contained plasma field, but that should be impossible at these depths." Commander Williams made a decision. "Prep the deep diver for launch. We need eyes on this." The Deep Diver was humanity's most advanced deep-sea exploration vehicle, capable of withstanding the crushing pressures of the Hadal Zone. Sarah and James suited up for the mission, their movements practiced and efficient in the tight confines of the preparation chamber. As they descended into the absolute darkness, their powerful lights illuminated something that shouldn't exist. A sleek metallic structure lay half-buried in the sediment, its surface covered in what appeared to be crystalline growths. It was clearly artificial, and just as clearly not of human origin. "Control, are you seeing this?" Sarah's voice was steady, despite the magnitude of their discovery. "Affirmative," Commander Williams replied. "We're recording everything. Can you get closer?" As they maneuvered the deep diver around the structure, they noticed patterns of light pulsing weakly through the crystalline sections. The object was nearly 500 feet long, with a design that seemed to defy conventional engineering principles. "There's movement inside," James reported suddenly, his voice tight with excitement. "We've got signs of life." Their sensors detected faint but regular energy pulses coming from within the structure. They weren't just looking at an alien artifact. They were witnessing what appeared to be a damaged alien vessel with survivors trapped inside. Commander Williams's voice crackled through their comm system. "We're contacting surface authorities now. Stand by for—" "Wait," Sarah interrupted, her eyes fixed on their readings. "Those energy signatures are getting weaker. Whatever's keeping them alive in there is failing." The implications were clear. By the time any government response could be organized, it might be too late. They had the equipment, they had the expertise, and most importantly, they had experience working in one of the most hostile environments known to humanity. "We can't wait," Sarah declared. "If they're trapped down here, they need help now. We're already better equipped to handle these conditions than any emergency response team they could send." Commander Williams was silent for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of a decision that would change human history. "You're right. We have a duty to help, regardless of where they came from. Dr. Chen, Dr. Rodriguez, begin rescue operations. Everyone else, prepare the station for possible survivors." As Sarah and James guided the deep diver closer to what appeared to be an airlock, they realized that humanity's first contact with alien life wouldn't happen in space as everyone had expected. Instead, it would occur in the darkest depths of Earth's oceans, where human ingenuity and determination had already pushed the boundaries of what was possible. They were about to discover that humanity's experience in adapting to extreme environments would prove more valuable than any advanced technology. In the crushing depths of the Mariana Trench, Earth's most primitive spacefaring species was about to demonstrate why they deserved a place among the stars. The alien vessel's airlock refused to respond to any conventional signals. Sarah and James hovered near it in the deep diver, their powerful lights illuminating the intricate patterns etched into its surface. The crystalline growths that covered portions of the ship's hull seemed to pulse with a weakening rhythm, like a failing heartbeat. Those crystals, Sarah mused, studying their readings. They're not just decorative. Look at how they're integrated into the hull structure. They might be part of their power system. Dr. Patel's voice came through their comm system. The energy signatures suggest some kind of quantum crystalline matrix. It's incredibly advanced, but the extreme pressure down here seems to be interfering with its normal function. James adjusted their sensors, focusing on the weakening pulses. It's like watching a computer trying to run with a failing power supply. The patterns are there, but they're degrading. Sarah had spent years studying communication patterns in marine life, particularly how different species conveyed distress signals. Something about the failing pulses caught her attention. These energy fluctuations, they're not random. There's a pattern here. She began recording the pulses, analyzing their frequency and duration. The sequence repeated every 47 seconds, with slight variations in intensity. It's mathematical, she realized. Prime numbers, just like the sequences we theorized might be used for universal communication. Working quickly, they reprogrammed the deep diver's external lights to pulse in response, mirroring the pattern but adding the next number in the sequence. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then the crystals near the airlock flared briefly, and a new pattern emerged. They're responding, James breathed. But these new patterns, they're degrading faster than the others. Sarah recognized the urgency in the failing signals. They're not just communicating. They're dying. Their life support must be critical. Commander Williams's voice cut through their discussion. Dr. Patel has a theory. Those crystals seem to function as both power conductors and communication arrays. The pressure down here is disrupting their normal resonance patterns. That's why they crashed, James realized. Their technology isn't built for these conditions. They never expected to be this deep. Sarah studied the patterns again, noting how they changed when exposed to their lights. What if we try something simpler? Their advanced systems are failing, but maybe we can establish basic contact using nothing but light and shadow. They'd repositioned the deep diver, using its lights to create simple binary patterns, old-fashioned Morse code adapted to a visual medium. The response was immediate. The crystals nearest to them pulsed in matching rhythms. They understand, Sarah exclaimed. They're adapting to our method of communication. Through this primitive but effective method, they began to piece together the alien situation. Their ship had been damaged while studying Earth's magnetosphere. Unable to maintain their advanced systems in the intense pressure, they had descended into the trench in a desperate attempt to survive, their quantum crystal technology failing progressively as they sank deeper. We need to get them out, James stated, reviewing their deteriorating life support readings. But their airlock systems are completely dead. We can't interface with their technology. Sarah thought about the deep-sea welding equipment they used for station maintenance. Maybe we don't need to. If we can't use their systems, we use ours. We cut our way in. The suggestion would have seemed absurd to any advanced civilization, using plasma torches and industrial cutting tools on a ship built with quantum technology. But in the crushing depths of the ocean, humanity's primitive solutions might be their only hope. They transmitted their intentions through their improvised light-based communication system. The response came back clear. 3 quick pulses. Yes. As they prepared their cutting equipment, Sarah reflected on the irony of the situation. Humanity had always assumed first contact would require mastery of advanced technology. Instead, it was their experience working in extreme environments and their ability to fall back on basic solutions that might save these advanced beings. Commander Williams coordinated with the surface, where news of their discovery was already sending shockwaves through the scientific community. But down in the depths, politics and protocols seemed distant concerns. They had lives to save, and they would do it the human way, with ingenuity, determination, and a willingness to try what others might consider impossible. The plasma torch flared to life, its heat carefully contained within a pressurized field. As they began cutting through the alien hull, using techniques developed for deep-sea salvage operations, Sarah couldn't help but wonder what these advanced beings would think of being rescued by such basic methods. Sometimes, she reflected, the simplest solutions were the most elegant. What they would find inside the vessel, and how they would keep its occupants alive in their primitive research station, were problems they would face soon enough. For now, they focused on the task at hand, proving that humanity's greatest strength might not be their technology, but their ability to adapt and overcome using whatever tools were available. The first alien emerged through the carefully cut opening like a creature from Earth's deep ocean trenches. Its body seemed to shift and flow, adapting to the pressure differential in ways that human physiology never could. The environmental suit it wore looked more like liquid metal than fabric, though parts of it had clearly failed under the extreme conditions. Chief Engineer Kai Jong watched through the deep diver's cameras as Sarah and James guided 3 more aliens into their rescue vessel. His mind was already racing through calculations and possibilities. The aliens were safe for now, but their ship, containing technology beyond human understanding, was still trapped in the crushing depths. Their pressure adaptation is remarkable, Dr. Patel observed from her station, studying the biomedical readings. But they can't maintain it indefinitely. We need to get their ship out of here before the hull completely fails. Kai nodded, his fingers flying over his holographic display as he modeled different scenarios. The problem isn't just lifting it. We need to maintain structural integrity during the ascent, or we'll lose everything inside. The alien vessel was massive compared to anything they'd ever attempted to salvage. Their standard deep-sea lifting equipment wasn't designed for something of this size and complexity. But as Kai studied the problem, he remembered something from his early days working on offshore oil rigs. "We don't need to lift it all at once," he announced, pulling up schematics of their station's external fabrication systems. "We can use the same principle as raising a sunken ship, create multiple small lift points instead of trying to do it all at once." The aliens, now safely aboard the station, watched with interest as Kai explained his plan through their improvised communication system. Their own advanced technology had failed them, but they seemed fascinated by the humans' methodical approach to what they considered an impossible task. "We'll use our station's 3D printing capabilities to fabricate a series of reinforced lift bags," Kai continued. "Dr. Patel's analysis of their hull structure shows weak points here, and here. We position the bags strategically, inflate them gradually with our deep-sea pumps, and let basic physics do the work." Commander Williams studied the proposal. "The pressure differential during ascent will be enormous. How do we prevent the hull from buckling?" "That's where their crystalline technology actually helps us," Sarah interjected, pointing to her latest scans. "Those crystals aren't just power conduits. They're part of the structural support system. If we can provide minimal power to maintain their resonance, they'll help distribute the stress loads evenly across the hull." James had already begun adapting their station's power systems. "We can use our emergency nuclear batteries. They're not as sophisticated as their quantum crystals, but they'll provide stable, continuous power. We just need to match the frequency they're already operating at." The aliens transmitted their approval, their own engineers seemingly impressed by the elegant simplicity of the solution. Where their advanced technology had proven vulnerable to extreme conditions, humanity's combination of basic physics and practical engineering might succeed. Over the next 48 hours, the station's fabrication systems worked continuously, producing reinforced lift bags designed to withstand the incredible pressures. Each bag was carefully positioned by the deep diver and a series of remote-operated vehicles, creating a web of lift points around the alien vessel. Kai coordinated the operation from the control room, his experience with deep-sea oil recovery proving invaluable. "Start the pumps," he ordered. 5% capacity, synchronized across all points. The bags began to inflate with agonizing slowness. Kai watched the stress sensors they'd attached to the alien hull, ready to abort if any section showed signs of failure. But the distributed lift system worked exactly as planned, gradually decreasing the pressure on the hull while maintaining its structural integrity. 1,000 feet ascended, James reported after the first hour. Hull stress within acceptable parameters. The crystal resonance is holding steady. The aliens monitored every aspect of the operation, their own data displays showing readings that none of the humans could interpret. But their body language, even through their strange environmental suits, suggested growing optimism. Sarah, who had been studying their reactions, smiled. "I think they're surprised. They expected their ship was lost. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways," Kai replied, adjusting the lift ratios as they passed through another pressure gradient. "Humanity learned to work in the deep ocean long before we mastered advanced technology. We had to understand the basic principles first." As the alien vessel slowly rose through the darkness, guided by human ingenuity and basic physics, it became a powerful symbol. Humanity might be technologically primitive compared to their new alien acquaintances, but they understood something fundamental about survival and adaptation. The rescue operation would take another 36 hours to complete, requiring constant adjustments and problem-solving. But with each passing hour, as their primitive solution continued to work, the aliens' respect for their human rescuers visibly grew. They were witnessing firsthand why humanity deserved to be taken seriously by the galactic community, not because of their technology, but because of their ability to overcome seemingly impossible challenges with creativity and determination. In the Nautilus station's converted recreation area, Dr. Elena Santos watched as one of the aliens, the one they'd come to call Azure due to its predominant color pattern, manipulated a holographic display of Earth's ocean currents. The alien's movements were graceful despite the confines of its environmental suit, its six-fingered hands weaving complex patterns in the air. "Your world is remarkable," Azure communicated through their improvised translation system, a combination of light patterns and basic mathematical sequences. "Most spacefaring species avoid planets with such extreme environmental variations, yet your people thrive in these conditions." Elena, the station's marine biologist, smiled. "We evolved alongside these extremes. Earth's harsh conditions forced us to adapt, to find ways to survive in every environment from desert to tundra, from mountain peaks to ocean depths." The alien vessel now hung suspended at a safer depth, supported by the human-engineered lift system. Teams worked around the clock to stabilize its systems, but the real breakthrough was happening here, in the quiet moments between crisis management. Commander Williams had made a controversial decision. Instead of isolating their alien guests, she encouraged interaction between the crews. "We can learn from each other," she'd said. "And right now, they need to trust us as much as we need to trust them." Azure's colleague, whom the humans called Pulse for its rapidly shifting color patterns, joined them at the holographic display. "Your species' approach to problem-solving, it is unexpected. You combine intuition with methodology in ways we hadn't considered possible at your technological level." Dr. Patel, who had been analyzing data from the alien ship's quantum crystal matrix, looked up from her tablet. "We've had to rely on our minds more than our technology. Each challenge we've overcome has taught us something new about ourselves." The aliens had been particularly intrigued by the station's extensive backup systems, mechanical overrides, redundant power supplies, and manual control options. Where their own technology sought perfection through advancement, humanity had learned to plan for failure, to build safety nets into everything they created. "Your ship's systems are incredible," James admitted, joining the group. but they're also vulnerable to conditions you never expected to encounter. Our technology might be primitive, but it's resilient because we assume everything can fail. Azure's color patterns shifted to what they'd learned was a sign of deep contemplation. Perhaps true advancement isn't just about creating more sophisticated systems, but about understanding the fundamental principles well enough to adapt when those systems fail. The conversation was interrupted by an alert from the engineering team. They detected a potential stress fracture in one of the lift points supporting the alien vessel. In the controlled chaos that followed, something remarkable happened. Instead of retreating to their separate groups, humans and aliens worked together seamlessly. Azure's knowledge of their ship's structure combined with Kai's practical engineering experience. Pulse's understanding of the quantum crystal matrix merged with Dr. Patel's analysis of power fluctuations. The crystals are trying to self-repair, Pulse explained, indicating a section of their displays. But they need a specific energy frequency to stabilize. Elena, who had been studying the patterns of bioluminescent deep-sea creatures, made a connection. What if we mimic the resonance frequency of marine life that survives at these depths? Their cellular structures have evolved to handle extreme pressure changes. The aliens' initial skepticism gave way to curiosity as Elena explained how deep-sea organisms maintain their cellular integrity. It was another example of how Earth's harsh conditions had created solutions that even advanced civilizations hadn't considered. Working together, they modified the power supply to match the biological frequency Elena suggested. The crystal matrix responded immediately, its glow strengthening as it began to stabilize the damaged section of hull. "Your people constantly surprise us," Azure communicated later, as they monitored the repair progress. "You see connections we miss, find solutions in places we wouldn't think to look." Sarah, who had been quietly observing the interactions, understood what was happening. The aliens were beginning to see that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or even their problem-solving ability. It was their capacity to learn, adapt, and work together across any boundary. As news of the rescue operation reached the surface world, governments scrambled to establish protocols and control the situation. But in the depths of the ocean, humans and aliens had already moved beyond formal diplomatic relations. They were building something more valuable: mutual respect and understanding based on shared challenges and collaborative solutions. The aliens' presence would change humanity forever, but perhaps humanity was changing them too. In teaching them to see the value in simplicity, in showing them how necessity bred innovation. The crew of the Nautilus was proving that true advancement came in many forms. 3 months after the rescue operation, the Nautilus station had become the epicenter of a quiet revolution in galactic thinking. The alien vessel, now safely anchored in international waters, had attracted more than just government attention. It had drawn the interest of the entire galactic community. Azure stood with Commander Williams on the station's observation deck, watching schools of deep-sea creatures swim past the reinforced windows. The alien's environmental suit had been modified using human engineering principles, allowing for greater comfort during their extended stay. "The Council of Advanced Species has been unsettled by our reports," Azure communicated. Their translation systems had improved dramatically, though they still retained the mathematical undertones that had first bridged their communication gap. "They cannot reconcile your technological level with your achievements." Williams smiled, remembering how their primitive solutions had accomplished what advanced alien technology could not. Sometimes the shortest path between 2 points isn't the most reliable one. The alien rescue had revealed something unexpected to the galactic community. While other species had developed in carefully controlled environments, advancing their technology in logical, sequential steps, humanity had evolved on a world that constantly challenged them. They had learned to survive first, innovate second, and their technology reflected this pragmatic approach. Dr. Patel entered the observation deck, carrying data crystals that contained the combined research of human and alien scientists. "The quantum crystal matrix analysis is complete," she announced. By incorporating principles from biological systems, we've developed a hybrid technology that's more resilient to extreme conditions. This was perhaps the most significant outcome of their collaboration. The aliens' advanced technology, combined with humanity's understanding of adaptation and survival, had created something entirely new. The galactic community had always assumed that technological progress was linear, that societies had to advance through specific stages in a predetermined order. Your species rewrites many of our assumptions, Azure admitted. We thought we understood the path to advancement, but you showed us there are many paths we never considered. The alien ship had been repaired using this hybrid approach. Quantum crystals now worked in harmony with mechanical backup systems. Advanced AI systems were paired with manual overrides. It was no longer just an alien vessel. It was a symbol of what could be achieved when different perspectives came together. Sarah joined them, carrying reports from the surface. The world's governments had finally reached an agreement on how to proceed with galactic relations. They want to establish an Earth-based center for collaborative technology development, she explained. A place where human ingenuity can combine with alien advancement. The Council has agreed. Azure revealed, their colors shifting to patterns of excitement. But they want more than just technological exchange. They want to understand how your species thinks, how you approach problems so differently from established galactic methods. This was unprecedented. The galactic community had always maintained strict technological hierarchies, with less advanced species kept at arm's length until they reached certain developmental benchmarks. But humanity had demonstrated that advancement couldn't be measured solely by technological sophistication. We've already begun receiving requests from other worlds, Azure continued. Species that face environmental challenges similar to Earth's. They want to learn your methods, understand how you've adapted to such extreme conditions. Commander Williams looked out at the dark ocean waters, thinking about how their deep-sea research station had become the starting point for humanity's journey to the stars. We never expected our first step into the galactic community would come from a rescue mission in the depths of our own ocean. Perhaps that's exactly why it worked, Dr. Petal suggested. We proved ourselves not by showing how advanced we were, but by demonstrating who we are. A species that faces challenges head-on and finds ways to overcome them, no matter the odds. The implications were still unfolding. Humanity would gain access to advanced alien technology, but they would also maintain their own approach to problem-solving. The galactic community would learn that true advancement came in many forms, and that sometimes the most primitive solution could be the most elegant. Your people have a saying. Azure communicated, their colors shifting to deep, thoughtful hues. Necessity is the mother of invention. We had forgotten this principle, focusing so much on advancement that we lost sight of the fundamental truths that drive innovation. As news of the successful collaboration spread throughout the galaxy, other species began to reconsider their approach to technological development. The human model of resilience, adaptability, and practical innovation offered a new path forward. The rescue of an alien ship from the depths of Earth's ocean had done more than just save lives. It had changed the course of galactic civilization. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not by following the expected path of advancement, but by showing that there were always new ways to solve old problems. As Commander Williams looked at the hybrid systems now operating throughout their station, a perfect blend of advanced alien technology and practical human engineering, she understood that this was just the beginning. Humanity's journey to the stars would be unique, just as their path to this moment had been unique. They had proved that true advancement wasn't just about creating more sophisticated technology. It was about understanding the fundamental principles of survival, adaptation, and cooperation. In the end, humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy might not be their inventions or discoveries, but their perspective on what it meant to truly progress.